PSG was founded by Jannie Mouton. Its main assets are Capitec, Curro Holdings, PSG Konsult, PSG Private Equity and Zeder.
Exactly. What a wonderful suite of companies. And again, we'll see a fantastic share price chart, largely following the fortunes of its underlying holdings, particularly Capitec and Curro, because of course those are the biggest contributors.
Market cap 46.3 billion rand, PE ratio 25.5 and a dividend yield of 0.96. No, sorry, what? 0.96%.
So not all that generous, but I guess that's what you'd expect. Let's have a look at the share chart, because the share chart will show you the same thing, zooming higher, although this year a little bit more sideways.
A bit of a choppy reaction there.
And that's reflecting the fact that Capitec share price is pretty similar looking chart, zoomed higher, but it's since flat.
And again, you've got to ask, why don't you go direct into Capitec? Why would you go into PSG or direct into Curro, which are two key holdings?
Well, we did exactly that in our portfolio. We saved ourselves some time and some money by buying PSG instead of Zeder and Capitec and Curro, which we owned earlier. So we sort of saved ourselves a bit of time.
So it's just it's ease of trade.
But to be fair, at the center, Jannie and his colleagues at that level are doing a tremendous job in terms of capital allocation. The other interesting wrinkle is that Steinhoff actually owns about 22-23% of PSG, which you may say is a little bit odd. Why would an international consumer-focused company like Steinhoff want to own this stake down in PSG? But if Marcus Jooste thinks it's a good idea, then I guess it could be a good idea for us as well.
Anything else you want to touch on the PSG
Well,
front?
Zeder is an interesting asset doing well. That's the agricultural focus. Curro has been a little bit choppy lately, had a failed attempt to buy Capitec, but still doing well in the market
and
for private education.
Despite the negativity in the press, it's still in the education space and comes down to simple demand supply. There's not enough supply of good education.
Yes. The only marginal issue I sometimes raise about PSG is that it does have a little bit of a feeling of a sort of a family listed entity, because Jannie appointed Piet Mouton, his son, as the CEO designate. I'm not sure
Is that a bad thing?
Well, I don't know. I always think it's a bit like the monarchy, you know, you don't really want to get involved with that kind of thing. I'd rather be with, like, I'd be very surprised if John Nodder makes Ollie the next CEO because his son just finished up at UCT. You know, it's not like the sort of thing you would do.
So your son's not going to be the next CEO of Vestact, is what you're saying. Sorry
well,
for you.
Probably not. But in any event, that's a small, you know, these are listed companies with 40 billion rands worth of market cap.
All right, so I stop pushing you on the family side. PSG, we've got it in the portfolio. Yeah. Are you hot or not?
I'm hot on it still. I think the underlying investments continue to give it a further trend upwards. And I sort of think maybe at some point that Steinhoff stake might come into play. Who knows? They might do something there as well.
Hot on PSG.